Hi everyone, how are you? This is Dayana. Thank you so much for giving me your attention. I'm tapping into the power of consistency. What I mean by that is that sometimes when we are putting ourselves into a project and our attention is wavering, we don't really fully get the most out of not only ourselves, putting our energy into that, also the energy that the project itself has and we can harness. So here's a simple tip that I feel you may find useful, and is to find out, look in, find something that you do because you really enjoy it. For some of you, maybe a workout. For some of you, maybe going out in nature. For some of you, maybe watching a movie or reading a book or talking to somebody that you care about. And see if you can identify the motivation behind it. And most times it won't be only self-serving. It will be there's something there that either you are learning or you are communicating or you're experiencing. So it has an element of relationship to the environment, to somebody else, something around you, not just you, for you, with you, right? So see if you can take that piece of information about how you operate in the world, right? What makes you want to go to the gym? Is it how you feel afterwards? What makes you want to pick up the phone and call your parents? Yeah? What makes you want to, at some point, stop watching movies, right? So that motivation to sit down in front of the computer or the TV and zone out or entertain yourself, and at some point you realize that it's enough. And how do you do that, right? So once you identify that, the trigger, both to engage in the activity and to do it again and then to stop it, right, is what moves you. What are your buttons? You can use that same motivation to create that conditioning and apply it to something that perhaps you don't naturally feel like you want to do. So let's grab a quick example. You have a project at work, or you are studying and you need to deliver some assignment. Yeah, and naturally you will not feel that same reward. It's a reward mechanism. It releases dopamine in your brain when you do something that you really like. Yeah, you won't find it in the tasks sometimes, and this is why I think this is a really good habit to develop. So you can associate the activity that you need to do, that consistent, proactive, repetitive progress that you need to make to get that done, with something that will create a jolt of dopamine in your system and that will feel equally rewarding to you. And sometimes you will like to trick yourself into this first until you begin to feel it. So for example, you may say to yourself, I will put this effort forward, I will make strides today by doing X, right? You set yourself a small goal, something that is achievable, right? So it could be one more page, it could be one step forward in the direction that you need to go. And then you can treat yourself to that something that really will fill you with joy. So if it's something in your body to, move yourself, you would do something like that right after. If it's going outside, you can do it. If it's picking up the phone or texting somebody you love, if it's a piece of food or a little bit of entertainment, do it. And associate that mechanism between the trigger, the consistency, and the joy, right? You're working your joy as a muscle. You're using it to create benefits throughout your life. What gives you joy? Of course, if it's something completely self-indulgent, right, you have to monitor how long you go there, because you don't want to use this as a trigger to get something done and then waste 3 hours watching videos, right? It's all about balance. Now, what I want you to think about is how many times during the day you spend valuable time and energy just procrastinating instead of doing that little bit of consistent effort towards the goal that you set for yourself. What if you could transform all that time that you're spending in procrastinating or putting yourself, giving yourself excuses so you don't have to do it, into looking for good habits to install, good triggers, right? So for me, for example, I love having a coffee. And if I will go have a coffee first thing, yeah, it's fine, it's enjoyable. But I might tell myself, I'm gonna work on this. Right now I'm creating a new course. I'm gonna work on this course, and when I publish the first 2-3 chapters, I'm gonna go make myself that nice cup of coffee, and I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna enjoy it, and I love the foam and I love the flavor. You know what I mean? So unless it's something that will distract you for a long time, or put you overweight, or get you, into an extreme, utilize your reward mechanisms that are built in, that are super automatic, and put them in front of you. Some people may call this like a little carrot. I don't believe in this idea that you're delaying gratification endlessly, but I think that if you are able to delay gratification towards something you really enjoy, and use that to trigger action in an area where you need consistency and you need to show up, and you might not be so excited about it, over time what this happens is that it creates endurance, right? So another way to look at this is, if you have 2 tasks in front of you and one of them is less desirable than the other, you would go to the less desirable task first, and you get that out of the way, instead of doing the one you like first, and then you will not want to do the other one and you probably never get it done. So over time, this builds muscle in a way that you just don't avoid, don't resist, you just go, because you know that on the other end of it, you're gonna feel so much better. And your brain has this capacity to associate efficiency, pleasure, and those gains really quickly, right? So immediately we'll choose that over procrastination, because in the long end, at the end of that week when you procrastinated your project, you don't feel good, and you will notice that it's suboptimal even if you keep doing it. So I hope this helps. Let me know in the comments if you like these kind of videos which are a little less produced, but also full in content and value and things that I think they're really useful. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I love to hear from you. What do you want me to talk about? Are you curious about something? Did you take a look at the breathing practices, the movement? Is that helping you? How else can I serve you? Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day, and I see you in the next video.